Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's Hila here, Saturday Night Stitch, and today's post I'm super excited to do a browse through of this May 2020 issue. Okay, so we're just gonna jump straight into it because I love this issue and I have a lot to say about it. So I love the bright popping summery colors. It's got yellow, that's my jam. I like the dress on the front, but not so much the color that it's been made in. Okay, so for those of you that are new to the channel, this is the Burda Germany issue, which is the original issue. So quite a nice little thing that they had in this issue is that they're showing you the process by which they actually develop the patterns, and they're showing you the process of developing the patterns for the next issue of Burda. So this is quite a nice little interesting look into the behind the scenes stuff. And I've always said that, you know, in terms of production values, you don't really get any better than Burda. Love the patterns or hate them, they are one of the best sewing magazines out there in terms of the quality that they produce every time, regardless of whether the design styles are fashionable or not. Okay, so we've got a lovely little nursery accessory here, which thankfully my children are all grown out of that stage. Okay, so the first thing that they have is their designer collaboration with Isa and Baitza. And also, I do recommend that you go check out her site, because I went and I checked it out, and she's also got this particular dress as well made up, which is really nice. So that's the actual designer herself there. So that was pretty cool. This fabric is not actually available because this was a print that they designed themselves. But it's got some really interesting design lines right here. Elasticated neck band from what I can see, and then you've got the giant poofy sleeves. A really interesting play on a 70s style silhouette, and they've obviously used a fabric that has got like a strong body because it's really holding the volume of those sleeves really well. And it's a lovely design, and I have to say that it doesn't look as good on this model as it actually does on the designer herself, in my own opinion. I kind of feel like she should have just used her own image for it. See if I can. Yeah, so do go check it out. It's ib.com. Okay, and they do some really nice styles. Kind of also wish that they will have her back to do this top here. Okay, so there we go, some more details of what they have then. And we've got some lovely ads. And then we've got like a giant pink and orange outfit, very voluminous. Reminds me of the 80s. Let me move if I can see. Yes, sorry, I'm trying to remove the shininess there. Okay, so the top is really quite simple. Drop shoulder, square inset sleeves, some wannabe shaping on the side with a D-ring over there. It's okay, it's okay. And then we have this really lovely parka dress. Now, I absolutely love that. The cutaway sleeveless showing the shoulder, and then you've got a hoodie. I do love a hoodie, and it's a zipper down the front and some waist shaping in the form of an elastic. You could easily skip the elastic on this and just, you know, have a belt instead. But I thought that this was a nice take on athleisure wear. And then we've got some jogger pants, which yeah, I'm not too keen on these ones. I gotta say, this absolutely love, and I can see myself wearing this in winter. Actually, I can see it being a versatile thing that I can wear with leggings and a roll neck top over there, and I can make that in a French terry or a velour if I wanted to make it more fashion. So yeah, as far as athleisure goes, like that one a lot better. And I thought it was also quite interesting that Burda did the athleisure in the May issue. Normally they do it in the January issue, but they didn't do it in the January issue this time around. Now, this pattern caught my eye in the previews because I was like, oh, that's really nice couture-like detail where you've got this yellow bandeau and it curves under. There's some slight shaping in the form of a bust dot on the one side, and it does look quite interesting. But they've gone for an editorial photo shoot where she's sitting down, and you're not really getting a good idea of how this looks overall. Like, where does it hit, and does it look nice having an asymmetrical flounce on it? And I kind of think that it's a shame that they decided to go with this shot, because this doesn't actually show me that much about whether this would suit me or not. I'd have to wait and see what happens in the sewing community with that one before I can make up my mind. Okay, and then over here we have got a lovely skirt with simple pleated features down here. Not a big fan of the actual design lines, personally speaking, but I do love the color popping here. I just feel like this is banging, and the combination of the shoes, absolutely love that. And yeah, I would love to recreate a photo shoot like this. That just looks so much fun. And then we've got this interesting jacket. This also caught my eye in the preview, and that's because it's got this swinginess to it at the back, which looks like it would be quite comfortable. Now, this is a size 36 to 44, but I feel like this model is really tall when I'm looking at her proportions, and I'd be curious to see what this would look like on somebody of average height. But I think that this is quite a nice looking jacket. It's relaxed and it's casual. I like the use of the snaps over there because that just gives it a clean look down the front. Lovely little non-functional flap pockets there just to add some interest. I think that this could be something that's quite popular. Okay, and then we've got this dress, again the athleisure dress, but it's been cut at the just above the hip, so it's been cut at the high hip rather than the low hip. And yeah, that's okay. I think I like it better as a dress. And then we've got this really fabulous dress which is made for the tall patterns, and I was really gaga about this dress when I saw it in the preview because it's got these interesting flutter style bat wings, but they've got a slit on the side here which just gives it a lot of action, and it's very energetic. And I also love how they've realized the vision of this dress, because this whole photo shoot, you know, it screams to me that this is an energetic design. It moves, it sways, and that really appeals to me. My only issue is that this is designed for tall people. I am not an excessively tall person, and I can tell by these proportions that I can't get away with just cutting out a tall pattern size, because I have sewn from the tall size ranges before, but I've sewn shift dresses which I can get away with because the shift dresses have tended to only go up to about the thigh, and then on me they would go to the knee. But this is a maxi dress, so if I wanted to make this, I would have to do some playing around with the proportions so that I can maintain this beautiful proportion that I like. But that is a beautiful, this was definitely one of the ones that I absolutely loved. And we've got a tutorial on making a locker bag using mesh fabric. And so for the photo shoot for this one, they did this in Tenerife. And again, this comes back to what I say about Burda. Like them or not, they do have very high production value. Is that enough to keep a sewing magazine going? I absolutely think so, because fashion is a part of the sewing creative pursuit. And so it is quite nice to have something in your collection that has got, you know, fashion editorial values. Okay, and so then we've got the Ditzy Liberty style prints, the little girl's dress with the, what do they call this, suspender belts that make it into a pinafore, I guess. And then we've got a simple blouse on top with drop shoulders and a v-neck line with a button front and a belt at the front. This is very similar to something that was in, I think it was in February 2019 issue. So yeah, but I can see how this would be a nice comfortable top to wear, especially for if you're traveling to really hot summery places. And there's that dress again. Normally, I'm not a big fan of grey, but I just loved how it looked in this grey silk. And this is silk fabric, so this would be very, very expensive. But I like it. I like the flounces. I like the movement. I am a big fan of, you know, just volume and things that move around. So if I were to make this, I would make this in a viscose, because viscose has got the drapiness, but it's not as expensive as silk. But love that. And we have that skirt again that I'm not too much of a big fan of, and it's in this beautiful floral print. I actually like the floral print, and this is a jacquard, and I like that it's a jacquard because jacquards, they really hold an A-line style very well. And then we've got a tunic top, which is very bohemian 70s style vibe is what I'm getting from it, because it's got the gathered panels at the bottom, creating again a lot of volume. It's almost like a trapeze top. And it reminds me of an indie pattern called the Wilder gown. I think it's very similar in look and style. And the sleeves are slightly puffed up, and then you've got like a cute little hem. Then they've made it in like a Swiss dotty fabric, and just it looks really beautiful. And you can get a better look at it here, where it's just been made in this white fabric, and it just looks great with jeans. And I think it's a nice simple thing to have and wear for summer. You can easily turn this into a dress by just either lengthening this last panel to whatever length you want, or just adding a third panel, and you've just got a really beautiful trapeze style dress. Add a belt to it if you want to create more shaping at the waist. I think that this could be another popular one. So this one's available in sizes 36 to 44 plus. It's only 2 dots, so it's not going to be that hard to make. So I think that, yeah, I quite like that. And then we've got a super easy pattern, which is a cute little girl's dress. It is very, very lovely. But personally, I always say that if you're going to be sewing for kids, because they go through these growth spurts, it's always better to use jersey, because at least they can stay in a jersey t-shirt for far longer than they can in, say, a cotton dress. And certainly I found for my kids, they just seem to just, grow so fast. Okay, and then we've got... I'm in two minds about this skirt. Okay, so it's got the mermaid style thingy by having a flounce added to it. I kind of feel like it's the length that does this wrong. I sort of feel like if they were going to go for the flounce, it needed to be slightly longer or possibly shorter. There's just something weird about the angle at which, about the length at which it ends, and then it sort of flares out. But that's just my own personal opinion. And it's got a yoke, a curved yoke, but you don't really see that because they've used a busy print, which is a shame. I always do feel that Burda misses out on the opportunity to show off their design lines by not using contrasting fabrics. Knit Mode, on the other hand, do excel. And speaking of Knit Mode, do remember to subscribe, because this is going to be my next video. I just received the May issue, and I'm going to do a browse through of that one. Okay, that aside, we've got this lovely top, which is a cami top, and it's got double straps, and it's got buttons down the side. This is going to be a popular top. It's this sort of perfect summery top, and it doesn't require a lot of fabric, so you could make this with silk or with your expensive fabric that you're precious about. It's lovely, and in here they've made it with like it looks kind of like a gauze, but it's got some viscose in it. Yeah. That's really classy, really elegant. That's also going to be another popular one, I think. And then we've got peplums. Hello, peplums. I love a peplum, full disclaimer. If you want to get straight to my heart, a peplum is the way forward, and this is no exception. I love the peplum. I love the quilted fabric that they've used it with, because that's holding the peplum beautifully, and it exaggerates the waist, and I do like keeping things minimal on the waist and exaggerating it. And it's got a zip front, and it's got a lovely little Eton towel style collar. I liked that. I just thought that this was so adorable, and I like how they styled it with the jeans. You could easily turn this into a dress just by lengthening this if you wanted to, and it would be kind of like almost like a 50s style dress, and you could, I think that you could do so much with this overall silhouette. And if you didn't like the zipper, you could easily eliminate the zipper, just cut it on the center front, and you'd still have the beautiful silhouette. But I really do like that, and I love that collar over there. Not so much of a big fan of the fabric that they have chosen in terms of the print. I like the structure that the fabric has, but print could have been brighter, is all I'm saying. And this is in the petite sizes. The size is 17 to 21, so that's the petite pattern. And we have here this dress that is very, very see-through, very translucent, This is the sort of dress that when I was a kid, my mom would have been like, go put on your petticoat, because that's what they called slips. Slips were also called petticoats, but you need a slip when you're wearing something with fabric like this, because this is not a good look, Burda. This is not a good look. Furthermore, if I may be allowed to have a little bit of a rant here. Okay, so you've got a beautiful rock here, which is adding the texture, and it's this really earthy brown, weathered brown color. And then you go with a fabric that's also like this blah, blah color. And it just really fails, in my opinion, right? Oh gosh, I've been watching too much Making the Cut, haven't I? Okay. I feel like in terms of a picture that's trying to sell the pattern, this fails miserably, in my opinion. You could have gone with a navy. Navy would have been so much better. I mean, try and picture this in a, in a navy fabric, in a navy poplin fabric, and it would just be popping against the gray, the whitey gray clouds in the background and against this rock. It just, yeah, I just think that you could have done better, because when you look at the actual line drawings, it's got some good bones. This is a sort of pattern that you could adapt and use so many times over. The skirt, it's got pleats here, but you could easily change this into a circle skirt style if you wanted to, or just a straight skirt style, or a dindle. You could do so much. And the bodice itself, you don't have to go for the puffy sleeves that they have gone for. You could go sleeveless, or you could just make it. I feel like this is a versatile pattern, absolutely a versatile pattern that you could use as a beginning point if you wanted to play around with doing a little bit of pattern drafting, because you've got the neckline. You could add a Peter Pan collar to that. So yeah, but shame about the photo shoot, in my opinion. Okay, and then we've got another Peplum-esque top here. Princess lines and a little flounce added down here. You can't... Burda really needs to look to knit mode to get ideas on how to really emphasize the design lines. Okay, so granted, this is a lovely fabric. It's a painterly fabric, right? And it's got all of these delicate looking flowers. But it is not easy for somebody to really picture what the design lines look like. Sure, you've got the line drawing, but a lot of people, they use the images to choose the pattern that they want to make. And this, I suppose if you liked the fabric, you'd look at it and be like, yeah, I want to make it. But it does have some solid bones to it. The princess seam, it means that you can make this as fitted as you want to. If you ever want to make something nicely fitted, especially over your bust, princess seam lines are the way to go, because they're easier to adjust than darts, for example. So this would be nice. And again, this has got the versatility of being easily changed into a dress if you so wanted, just by lengthening it, And this would look so lovely in navy with mustard top stitching. I am going down a navy rabbit hole, navy blue rabbit hole at the moment. But yeah, this is lovely. I would make that. Absolutely. Not in this fabric, but I would make that. And then we have a lovely girl's dress pattern, perfectly summery, rounded neckline. And it's in this same cotton voile that they have used previously for the trapeze dress. It's very cute, very easy to make. And then there's this dress, which I absolutely loved. It is so 80s in style, this dress. And I know, because I've been looking at a lot of 80s Burdas. And this has got very 80s vibes. It's got a deep scoop neck and it's sleeveless. All right, and then it's got this wonderful shaping at the waist, which is achieved by having a yoke on the skirt, and then you've got some dots down the front. So this is such a beautiful dress, I think, and it's got like this exposed back, so the back is quite low, and then you've got these delicate little flounces along the sleeves. I love this dress. So this is another dress that I would make. So I'm a huge fan of dresses, and also this is easily turned into a skirt with a yoke, so you could easily separate that out into a skirt, or you could stop at the yoke here and make it into a top, a nice fitted top. Great potential. I'm a big fan of dresses, and I feel like so far Burda has delivered for me in this issue. The featured sewing pattern is this peplum style top with the flounces. And then the retro style pattern is from the 1960s. And it is a lovely dress. It's been made up in a boucle fabric in blue and white. So at first when I saw this in the preview, I thought this is a two-piece. But it turns out it isn't a two-piece. It's actually a dress that's made to look like a two-piece, which I thought was absolutely interesting. And then it's been given 3 dots, which I find confusing, because this to me looks quite complex. How are you going to make something that looks like a dress in the line drawings actually look like it's a two-piece? But, to each their own, I guess. But I think that this is a lovely especially the neckline. I think that the neckline is very lovely. It's nice and low, which is typical of what you get with the 50s. And I also like the nod to 50s style by actually using what look like 50s bakelite buttons. Very in keeping. I do not like the hairstyle that they used to. In terms of the styling of the photo shoot, this did not work for me. I really think that, you know, the hair should have been pinned up or wearing a hat. It just, it failed to hit the spot, which is such a shame because that could have really made it all that more popping. And I think that from an editorial perspective, when you're trying to sell patterns, it is important to also try and give the look as well. It's the whole package. And I think that's what Burda tried to distinguish themselves as in the market of sewing magazines, that they are the whole package, that they provide you the editorial that you would get from fashion magazines, but this is also about DIY sewing. So it may sound like it's nitpicking, but I feel like those things are important. Then we've got a thingy about hair, and oh, here we go. That Peplum top again showing up, but this time it is in a solid color. Lovely, solid, it's okay. And I loved this. I was so down for this when I saw the preview because I love the print mixing, the stripes and the bright and bold floral skirt. It's a simple A-line skirt with 2 dots on it. Can't go wrong with that, really. And that's a beautiful, beautiful fabric. We have that skirt again, third time popping up in a different fabric. Nice. And then we've got this really cute, interesting top. It's sleeveless, raglan sleeves, right? And then you seem to have this gathered section of the neckline, and it's got a clean neckline finish. I like this as well. I actually really like this. And I'm quite interested in making that. And we've got that skirt again, and it's in navy blue. Doesn't that look gorgeous? Oh, I love that. And you've got that blouse again, the 80s style with the very full-on sleeve and a belt with the V-neck. Beautiful. Like the skirt. Look at that pleating. Aha! Right, so this photo, allow me a moment, please, with this picture here. Okay, now I grew up with dogs. Most of my life as a kid, we had dogs up until I left home. We had dogs. I have never once tried to carry a dog like that. And when you look at this dog doesn't like this. You know, this is such a funny shoot for me because look at that dog. That dog is just looking like, I don't like this at all. I am being scrunched up because look at that. This is the dog's front leg and this is its leg. And that looks like it's painful unless this dog has been declawed. This dog is trying to say, stop doing this to me. It doesn't like this. And she's smiling at it like, hello, my baby. I was just like, gosh, this is not a good picture. This is not a good picture at all. Yeah. Anyway, that aside, we've got a simple skirt silhouette, denim style, center front button placket. You know, you could do this with denim. You know, I personally am not a big fan of these really pegged silhouettes because they don't facilitate walking very easily. And hello, we're taking an instant picture, Polaroid. That top again in a solid color this time, and you can see closer here the details of the gathered neckline. I preferred it in the patterned print. Here it just kind of looks a bit boring. And this is the second featured sewing lesson there. Beautiful ideas of how to put your outfits together because it's Burda. It gives you the full package. And then here is what we have for the plus sizes, the extended sizes, which run from size 44 to 52. So we have a dress. It's linen and elasticated waist, selected gathering over there, and some bust darts. It's got her facing down here, and it looks like she's wearing some shorts underneath. I'm not sure what that's about. Okay, here you go. And then we've got this top here, 127, which is quite underrepresented in this picture. So here is the back view of this t-shirt. And I think that that's got a lot of color blocking opportunities that you could play around with, which sadly you don't get to see because they've just decided to go with a solid color on it, which I think again is such a shame. But you know, to each their own. And then we've got some lovely trousers that just hit the ankle, slightly loose on the side and the fly front. I can't tell if they've got pocket. Yes, no, they do. They've got inseam pockets over here. That's all right. They're made in viscose. I think that's an interesting choice. I prefer them in linen, personally speaking. And we've got a simple top, V-neck, sleeveless. Again, it's actually lovely, the fabric that they've used. It's a really nice take on a stripe. Normally, I'm not attracted to these sort of colors, but I just like the cool, chill-out vibe that I got from this. I thought it was quite nice. And these ones are available in sizes 44 to 52. And you've got that top again, and it's in a deep red linen type fabric with the statement buttons. I do love a statement button. And I have to say that this outfit, it really did catch my eye in the preview. And it's because I quite like this, I want to say kimono style jacket with the belt. I just thought that that was really nice and cool, and I could see myself wearing something like this in the summer, just like a little layer over my vest top. I was like, I like the idea of that. And we've got those trousers again, and they're showing up in rami, which is very similar to linen, but without all of the problems that linen has, like the wrinkling, etc., that some people may not like. And there's that top again, which is a nice different take on a t-shirt. Love the fabric, absolutely love the fabric. And we've got a skirt which has got some top stitching hemming details, which can be really nice. I've done something like this with a sculptural bucket coat before, and it does add a couture level feel to a pattern when you add that. So lovely people, this is what we have this this coming month with Burda for May. It's like a little cute scissor thing with ice creams. Okay, and I gotta say, I'm a very, very happy bunny. I don't think so far, I'm not sure I've been as happy with an issue, because I would definitely make this dress here. I would make that dress over there, and I would make this top over here, and I would also like this top over here. I would also make this one. So there are quite a lot of things that I could see myself making, and I really liked this skirt as well, the simplicity of it. I can see myself making a skirt like this if I've got a really nice fabric that I just want the print to speak. Oh, and also this dress here, I forgot the 80s style dress. I would make that. And as for this dress here that was made in a very unfortunate choice of a fabric color, I would really love to play around with this in terms of actually creating a sloper, kind of like making my Burda sloper out of that. So overall, a lot of really, really good quality patterns that I was personally very happy with. And so yeah, so this made up for the fact that I really struggled with the April issue, and I'm quite excited to get into this one when I do get the chance to. Right, so this is it, guys. This is our Burda May 2020. Thank you so much. If you've stayed until this long, I love you. You're my best friend. Do remember to subscribe for new sewing related content literally every single week. And until I see you next time, happy sewing. Oh, and by the way, you may want to turn off your notifications, because I'm going to show you May 2020 of Knit Mode, which I loved so much. I bought it even though it's outside my subscription now. Bye.